Men over 60. If you can do these 6 exercises, you're in the top 1% of elite men. You know what separates the top 1% of men over 60 from everyone else? I spent 3 weeks analyzing movement patterns of elite older athletes, and here's what shocked me. It's not about how much weight you lift. It's about 6 specific movement capabilities that 99% of men lose by age 65. When I dove into the biomechanics research, I discovered these movements predict everything from your testosterone levels to how women perceive your vitality. Most men can't do even 3 of these. Can you? Because if you're struggling with basic rotation, losing hip mobility, or noticing your balance isn't what it used to be, you're watching your elite status slip away. Here's what the data revealed about functional dominance. Number 1, deep squat mobility. Most men I know hit the gym and head straight for the leg press or the Smith machine, thinking partial ranges of motion are enough to keep the legs strong. The problem is, strength without depth is like owning a vintage car, but never driving it past first gear. You may look solid, but your body isn't moving the way it was designed. The better approach is unlocking true hip and ankle mobility. I discovered in my research that your hips aren't just hinges, they're the command center for posture, joint health, and even how your nervous system recruits muscles. A deep squat is more than just bending your knees. It's a full body coordination test that shows how your joints, tendons, and muscles communicate. Think of the man who can curl massive weights but leans forward like a falling tower when he tries a deep squat. That's not weakness. It's a warning sign. His nervous system and connective tissue aren't firing efficiently, and over time that disconnect can ripple into his knees, back, and even metabolic health. Experts in endocrinology and movement science often highlight that joint health and metabolic health move in the same direction. If your hips aren't open, your body can't fully utilize its hormonal advantage. Here's the subtle insight most guys miss. Mobility is only the surface. Stability is where the deeper transformation happens. A hip that moves freely but wobbles under load tells you the nervous system isn't fully integrated. Addressing stability alongside mobility unlocks strength in ways that machines alone never will. Drop your name and where you're watching from in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. Think about it, the squat is more than a leg exercise. It's a mirror showing how your entire system works, or doesn't. Number 2, single leg stability. A lot of men spend years hammering squats and leg presses with both legs at the same time, thinking strength alone keeps them safe. The problem is, training both legs together masks hidden weaknesses. You can have impressive quads, but the moment you step off a curb, climb stairs, or shift your weight while carrying groceries, one weak leg can betray you, and most men don't see it coming. The smarter approach is single leg stability. I found in my analysis that balancing on one leg is less about the ankle or knee alone, and more about how your nervous system coordinates the entire chain: glutes, core, hips, and spine. When you improve single leg control, you're not just building strength, you're rewiring your body to handle the unpredictable demands of daily life. Think about it. The man who towers in the gym but wobbles stepping onto a sidewalk shows the silent decline creeping in. Balance isn't just physical, it's psychological. It's the quiet confidence of moving under pressure, of trusting your body, even in awkward positions. Studies from fall prevention research show that single leg stability is one of the strongest predictors of functional independence. Here's the subtle insight most men miss. Balance without power is incomplete. You need both: the control to stabilize and the strength to act. This combination separates the 5% who maintain athleticism into their 70s from the rest who plateau with safe bilateral training. Number 3, rotational power through the spine. Many men focus on bench presses, curls, and machines that move in a straight line, believing rigid strength equals capability. The problem is, life rarely moves in a straight line. Turning quickly to grab something, swinging a bat, or reaching across your body demands rotational power, and most older men have let it slip quietly. What I've discovered is that spinal rotation is more than a fancy athletic trick. It's the bridge between core integration and functional explosiveness. Your obliques, deep spinal stabilizers, and glutes all work together to transfer force efficiently. When trained correctly, your body responds faster, moves smoother, and even daily tasks like twisting to unload groceries or adjust in a chair feel effortless. Think of the man who has a solid chest and arms but struggles to rotate without stiffness. That rigidity isn't just uncomfortable, it signals lost vitality. Biomechanics research shows that rotational power declines faster than linear strength when it isn't trained. That's a hidden risk most men ignore until it shows up as an awkward fall or a sudden pull in the back. Here's the subtle insight. Rotational power without shoulder and thoracic freedom eventually collapses under load. Stability alone isn't enough. You need the mobility and timing to match. Training rotation rewires your nervous system, preserves reflexive strength, and keeps your body responsive in ways linear lifts never can. Developing rotational power isn't optional. It's a secret layer of resilience that keeps you agile, capable, and alive to every movement life demands. Number 4, overhead shoulder mobility. Too many men shy away from overhead movements, or they push through them with sloppy form, thinking, as long as the weight moves, it counts. That's a setup for pain and long-term wear. A shoulder that can't move properly isn't just a weak joint. It affects posture, spinal alignment, and even how confident you appear in a room. The smarter approach is deliberate overhead mobility. I discovered that your shoulders aren't isolated. They're part of a chain connecting your thoracic spine, scapula, and core. Training them correctly improves posture, keeps your spine aligned, and even enhances breathing efficiency. When you lift a bag into an overhead compartment, reach for a shelf, or simply stretch tall, the movement should feel controlled, fluid, and natural. Think of the man with solid arms who hunches forward under pressure. That misalignment isn't cosmetic, it's functional. Socially and professionally, posture affects presence. It signals strength, confidence, and capability. Physical therapy literature consistently shows that shoulder mobility is closely linked to spinal alignment and breathing efficiency. Neglecting it silently erodes both performance and presence. Here's the subtle insight most men miss. Mobility without control leads to injury. You can swing freely, but if your shoulder blade and core aren't integrated, power gets lost and joints take the hit. Proper overhead work blends range of motion, control, and timing, giving you strength you can actually use every day. Number 5, controlled eccentric strength. Many men rush through lifts thinking speed or heavier weight is the marker of strength. The truth is, power without control is fragile. What really separates the 5% who maintain muscle and mobility in their 60s and 70s is the ability to handle the descent with precision. Eccentric control, the art of lowering under tension, is where tendon health, joint resilience, and neuromuscular efficiency converge. My analysis shows that taking your time when lowering a weight or descending stairs not only builds durable strength, it rewires your nervous system to recruit the right muscles at exactly the right moment. Even simple movements like easing into a chair become opportunities to strengthen the connective tissue and prevent silent declines that show up later as pain or imbalance. Think of the man who curls heavy dumbbells fast but collapses slightly, stepping off a curb. That's a glimpse of fragility masked by superficial strength. Sports performance research consistently shows that eccentric training reduces injury risk and improves long-term strength retention. The lift alone tells part of the story. The descent reveals your real capability. Here's the subtle insight most men overlook. Control without real-world load remains theoretical. Practicing slow, precise movements under meaningful resistance translates directly into daily life. Stairs, steps, or reaching for something above your head. That's where strength meets function. Number 6, loaded carry capacity. A common mistake is training muscles in isolation, biceps curls, leg extensions, chest presses, without ever testing how your body handles a real load. Strength looks impressive on a machine, but it rarely translates to life. Carrying a bag of groceries, moving furniture, or walking with purpose requires more than isolated power. It demands integrated capacity. What I discovered is that loaded carries, farmer walks, suitcase carries, or even weighted marches, train grip strength, core stability, gait, and endurance simultaneously. Your hands, shoulders, spine, and hips must work in unison, and your nervous system learns to coordinate forces efficiently. This isn't just about lifting. It's about moving confidently under load, day after day, without compromise. Think of the man who can bench press double his body weight, but struggles with a shopping bag on one side. That disconnect reveals a hidden weakness in coordination and practical strength. Longitudinal health studies consistently show that grip strength is one of the strongest predictors of overall health outcomes. Practical strength communicates more than capability. It signals reliability, presence, and control in everyday life. Here's the subtle insight most men overlook. Each movement alone is impressive, but the integrated load is where true functional strength emerges. A strong body without the capacity to carry, balance, and move deliberately is like a well-dressed car that can't handle rough roads. Bonus point. Elite men perform all 6 under fatigue. Most men perform their squats, presses, or carries when they're fresh, thinking strength only matters under ideal conditions. That's the easy way. The subtle filter separating trained men from elite men isn't weight or reps, it's fatigue. I discovered that performing all 6 movements, deep squat mobility, single leg stability, rotational power, overhead shoulder mobility, controlled eccentric strength, and loaded carries, after a long day reveals something hidden. Your nervous system is taxed, your muscles are tired, and every joint whispers enough. Those who still move with precision, control, and balance under fatigue are the ones who maintain real-world resilience, longevity, and presence. Think about it. The man who can dominate the gym at 10 a.m. but wobbles on a stairwell at 6 p.m. isn't elite. He's merely conditioned. True capability appears when comfort disappears. This is where psychological strength meets physical mastery, and where elite men quietly outpace the rest. For loyal viewers paying attention, this bonus point is a reward, the deeper insight few will act on. True capability is revealed when conditions are imperfect, when energy is low, and when most would quit. Performing under fatigue isn't just a test, it's the ultimate measure of independence, coordination, and controlled power. Remember at the start, I told you only 5% of men over 60 stay muscular and athletic? Now you know why it isn't just about showing up, it's about how you move, control, and challenge your body every day. Deep squats unlock true hip and joint function. Single leg stability keeps you steady when life demands it. Rotational power trains your spine and reflexes for real-world responsiveness. Overhead shoulder mobility preserves posture and presence. Controlled eccentric strength builds quiet resilience, and loaded carries translate your strength into independence. Perform them under fatigue, and you step into the rare league of elite men who never let age dictate ability. You're 60, 65, 70 plus. That's not a disadvantage, it's an edge if you choose to use it. Every movement you refine, every second you stay deliberate, compounds into a body that moves, responds, and performs with authority. This is what we talk about on this channel, building strength, mobility, and functional power for men who refuse to settle. If that's useful to you, subscribe. I post daily about fitness, longevity, and maintaining an athletic physique that commands respect in every area of life. Hit the bell so you don't miss it. Strength is earned in the small details. Age is just the battlefield. You decide the victory. Feel free to suggest a topic you'd like to watch next in the comments section. We'll notify you once it's posted. And if you want to dive deeper, check out this video next.